Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. Toronto real estate market is collapsing slowly but surely. So what is happening to the fall market as we speak? What is happening to all these bank rate cuts? And does it even have an effect on these particular buyer and that real estate movement going forward? We'll talk about that in this short video. So let's get into it. All right, so let's call it for what it is. It is crickets out there. So if you are in real estate market today and if you're selling your property, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you're getting maybe 0 showings or maybe 1 a week. So why is that? Because of the buyer's confidence. Even though we are having all these bank rate cuts, which are fine and they will help eventually, but when? It takes time for the buyer confidence to get back. It takes time for that housing affordability to get back on the table. But having said that, in order for that to happen, we need these prices to be adjusted in order for the adjusted new prices, which means price drops and price adjustments and all these bank rates to hit that equilibrium in order for the housing affordability to be back on our tables. But having said that, like, let me give you an example. I mean, like, I've been taking buyers for a long time in this market and stuff like that. And, these particular buyers are looking at a condo, right? So we looked at a $800,000 condo, which was reduced after 2-3 weeks to 780, then to 750, 720, 700, on and on and on. Now it's below $700,000 mark, which is a significant drop. That drop is over $100,000. So now we can debate whether these particular sellers are in need or not, but that's the current feeling in the market. That is what's happening. So all it takes a few of these condos to sell at this particular price, which means it will bring that wish list of $800,000 back to below $700,000. So, but that also creates that particular, iffy feeling because there's no urge and there's no need maybe to purchase it at this particular moment. And that's why people are feathering off and they're kind of waiting and they're maybe trying to speculate somewhere else and whatnot. But there's no urge, there's no need to buy today. And we'll get into all of, surge of inventory that is happening like crazy. In September, my phone is ringing every day. People are asking, people want to list, and they're like, hey, I'm here, I want to list my property today. Well, okay, I get it, but now we're competing against thousands and thousands of other listings and units and you name it. And I made a video a few months ago, I believe it was in August, and you can see it at the end of this video, you can click on it. And you know what, like, my biggest fear was exactly that. What will happen in September when everybody wakes up, turns on the light and say, hey, look, I have a great idea. I will list in September. Okay, so is everyone else. So this is exactly what's happening. Even though we're having these bank rate cuts happen, and they will eventually help in our market, but maybe not today, because it takes time for all of these little things to trickle in and to have an effect for that buyer in order to pull that particular trigger. So all these sellers that are delusional, like I don't even know how to call them, but some of these sellers are listing their property in 2021 pricing, the trophy year, the biggest real estate increase ever, right? Like they are thinking still that that particular property will fetch these kind of numbers today. Well, let me tell you, it's not gonna happen. And your maybe advisor or realtor or whoever is talking to you, maybe is not telling you the truth because they want to maybe get your listing or whatever. So they don't know how to explain it maybe to you in a proper way so you understand. So let me get back to the phone ringing in September. So my phone has been ringing every single day. People asking me about the market, which is nothing unusual. but everybody wants to list. Whatever the reason is, one reason or another, but they want to list their property like everyone else now, okay? So now we're dealing with the surge of inventory. We're dealing with more homes available or condos in the market, and that creates this huge inventory and the choice for the buyers, which allows the buyers to choose more product, and it doesn't apply any pressure. Unless they really need to buy, there's no pressure, right? So they have all the time in the world. So eventually what is happening, I mean, like the price reductions, I mean, that's the next step. And as soon as somebody gives in, the rest needs to follow. And people are giving in. And I'll tell you why. Because as we speak today, the next wave of mortgage renewals in Canada will be around $700 billion. That will create additional stress. And why is that? Because some of these sellers or some of homeowners will renew their property from 1 point something to 3 or 4 points today, which is a gap of 3 points. That's a significant increase that they didn't have to pay all these years, and now it's catching up to them. And that catch-up game will maybe cost them an extra $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month. And most people do not even have these funds. They either don't have the funds, or they don't have additional funds or way to pull these funds. You know, a lot of people were riding this market because they had line of credits, they were borrowing money left, right, and center. They're borrowing here, translating it to there, you get the point. But now all of those things are dried up. So it feels like that a frog jumped into the boiling water and it got comfortable and it's just sitting there. So that's why I believe that Toronto, which is the biggest elephant in the room, the biggest real estate elephant as we speak, the biggest market, is slowly collapsing. And we've seen it, like we've seen it last year even, you know, condo market just plummet. Like it just went upside down like this, right? And everybody thought it's not gonna happen. It's Toronto, it's the biggest market, the biggest hub, the biggest this, and we can all agree. But what has happened now? I mean, it's collapsing. We see price reductions on condos at $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. So there's a reason for that. And the reason is simple. People were trying to invest, which is fine, but that particular rent cannot cover the cost, so they have to pay out of pocket. Now the second hit will be the mortgage renewal maybe. So that's another hit. So 2-3 hits maybe they cannot handle, and it would translate in selling these particular assets. And when they start selling it at the bulk, and I think it is slowly happening because my phone has been ringing and people are, you know, catching on what's going on, and they're like, look, I need to sell. Like I need to sell now because I see down the road it will be hard. And as we speak today, there's 25,000 units in Toronto GTA, and that will easily jump to over 30,000 units by the time we're finished in October. I strongly believe. And what will happen with all these listings that got, you know, terminated, expired, relisted, that will add on that stress, and it will keep adding. And if we go back in our real estate history, the MLS, like we can see that, you know, some of these properties have been relisted multiple times with obviously price drops, most of them, and that creates the additional stress. So as soon as somebody gives in, everybody has to follow if you want to be in the market, or otherwise you have to keep the property. You have to figure out how you're going to manage it, how you're going to keep it. So I hope you liked this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see you all next time.